All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so it looks like we may be getting another government shutdown coming soon. The probability of getting one has risen to 75%. Reason being is that apparently there's still some rioting going on in Minneapolis with the ICE agents and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always something political or something overseas that really makes the market uneasy and uncertain. First, we had the Ukraine and the Russia stuff, and that was kind of like back and forth. That was, we had tensions easing, and then they went back and forth talking about, okay, we're going to get a peace deal, we're going to do this, and then that falls through the cracks, and then they're back at attacking each other and things like that. So that was the first thing, and then we had the Israel and Palestine stuff, which these things are still going on, right? I'm just trying to put it in order, but these things are still going on. So it's like they calm down and then they come back when the market is like ready to take off, and they just deter the market from going up, right? I feel like we just got through the recent government shutdown, which was one of the longest government shutdowns in history, or the longest, I believe. And yeah, we just got through that one last year in October. And now, because of this stuff in Minneapolis, we may be getting another government shutdown. So it just seems like the market never gets a break. And it's usually nothing with the fundamentals, which is the most important part. When we look at crypto, when we look at blue chip stocks, it's more of outside influence that really hits the price. And it's really nothing wrong with the company. I think that's the most important part, because people are like, oh, should I sell or go in all in cash, or should I go to gold? Obviously, we have gold, silver, and all these metals, skyrocketing, but it's because people are getting scared, and I think that presents a lot of opportunity. Obviously, in the metal space, but it presents a lot of opportunity in blue chip stocks and in blue chip cryptos, in my opinion, because people are fleeing away from these assets. When I think there's a lot of value there, it's just we just can't catch a break, right? When it comes to government shutdowns, when it comes to things overseas, and we just had the thing with Venezuela as well, right? The Venezuela taking the president from, I believe it's Venezuela, right? Yeah, Venezuela, and the Greenland stuff. So it's just like one thing after another. So it's really more political than anything to do with any specific company. Okay, so yeah, I don't think there's an AI bubble. I don't think there's a crypto bubble. I just think there's just outside influence that affects the markets, and you just need to be able to hold through those periods, because I think these things are going to bounce back pretty good. And you already see some assets actually holding up pretty well when it comes to crypto and things like that. And I think those are the projects to pay attention to when we have stuff like this, like potential government shutdowns, the uneasiness with taking over another country's president, bringing them to the U.S., and then how that affects markets, and then the Greenland stuff. I think it presents a lot of opportunity if you could just see through the politics and all the fighting and stuff like that. Because I don't really think that reflects on the companies or the projects and things like and all that. I just think it's a time period where the market's not sure, and that's an opportunity for you to pick up stuff for the cheap, right? Because that's the whole point. A lot of people complain like, oh, well, things are crashing, let me sell everything. But those are the same people, when the price is up, they're like, oh, I wish I would have been able to buy this asset at a lower price. But you did have the opportunity, you just didn't want to buy it at that price. And this is kind of what separates people that can multiply their wealth pretty quickly, opposed to people that take the long route and retire in their early 60s or late 60s, right? So yeah, so let's take a look at some prices. Let's see what's going on. Actually, let me check my mic really quick. Let me check my mic. Give me just a second. So yeah, so let's take a look at some prices. Let's see what's going on. Actually, let me check my mic really quick. Let me check my mic. Give me just a second. Okay, it looks like my mic is working pretty good. Okay, so let's take a look at crypto prices real quick just to see where we're at. When I looked at it this morning, it looks like BTC was down, and I think that's what's going to happen this week, right? So we have a lot of things coming up. We have this thing with the government shutdown just last week. If you remember, it looks like we were going to pass this funding bill, and we were not going to have a shutdown. So that I think the markets really took that really well for the fact that we just came from the longest government shutdown ever, and we were like, okay, we're through this part. We're gonna get the funding bill passed, and now over the weekend, the stuff with Minneapolis has basically increased the chances of a government shutdown to 75%. So we have that. So I think that's why Bitcoin is taking a little bit of a dip right now. It's sitting at 88,669. So it was hovering around that 90,000 mark, and it took, like a $1,500 dip over the weekend, and I think it's because of this news. Now, what we also have coming up is the interest rate cuts, the Fed meeting on the 28th through the 29th. I believe that's this week, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's Wednesday and Tuesday. So a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty. Now we know we're not going to get a rate cut this week, this Fed meeting, because again they're playing it by ear. So really, we need to. I don't think that's going to affect the market. I believe that's already priced in. But what we need to pay attention to, and what we always pay attention to, is what Fed Jerome Powell is going to say during his meetings to kind of predict what rate cuts are going to look like in the coming meetings, right? So, or what liquidity injections look like, because remember they started injecting liquidity into the market by buying back bonds. So we really want to pay attention to what he's going to say the 28th and the 29th. And then also pay attention to this government shutdown. I think if we get it, right? Pay attention to whether we get one or whether we do not. I don't know. It looks like, I think the Democrats are saying something like we're not going to support ICE funding in this bill. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but I think the current administration feels strongly about this project with ICE and whatever they're doing with that. So I don't know if it's going to be an easy resolution. It seems that if they don't come to a resolution, again, that's why it went up to 75% chance of us getting a government shutdown coming up this next voting round. So yeah, so those are the two main things to pay attention to this week: the Fed meeting, and then whether we get a government shutdown. I think those are the two main things. Also, when it comes to the crypto side of things, if the government shuts down, I'm not sure if the Clarity Act will end up getting passed. Remember, when the Clarity Act, we were supposed to get that, I think last week, get it passed through the Senate, but the CEO of Coinbase basically said, I'm not in agreement with this bill. You guys need to take it back and look at it. And they took that really seriously. So, the whole World Economic Forum that took place in Davos, it looks like the CEO of Coinbase was there, and he was able to give his opinion and talk to talk to people within banking and get some type of understanding. So it looks like that was ready to pass too. But if we get the government shut down, I don't know if that's going to be able to pass as well. It's going to be hard for that to pass as well. Now, we do have the exception that's supposed to come out from the SEC chair, the innovation exemption, and that's supposed to allow the crypto market to function without the Clarity Act until the Clarity Act gets figured out. So a lot of things to pay attention to, a lot of volatility. I feel like the market could go either way. If we get a government shutdown, obviously negative for the market, and then whatever Fed Jerome Powell says in his meeting on Wednesday and Thursday, I think that's going to play a big part of the market. So this week is going to be very huge in the market. Definitely a week to pay attention to and look at what prices do for assets. So yeah, that is pretty much the summary. Again, a lot of uncertainty. It feels like we never get a break when it comes to these with these political things and things like that. But I think the market will turn around. The what we want to happen, the most favorable outcome, in my opinion, is the not to get a government shutdown. Obviously, if we don't get the Clarity Act passed, I think as long as we get that innovation exemption, I think that would be the best outcome for that as well. Okay. It looks like that Clarity Act is 50-50. They're trying to push it through. I think it could get pushed through, but it's more of a wait and see. So as long as we get that innovation exemption, I think the crypto market would be well. And as long as we don't get that government shutdown, I think we're going to be in a good space. Now, I really don't care about, and then interest rate cuts. We know we're not going to get one this month, but as long as Jerome Powell's dovish and bullish on future rate cuts, and then maybe add something in there with more liquidity injections or increasing liquidity injections, I think that's going to be very positive for the market. The negative side is obviously government shutdown, no bill gets passed somehow, and then I feel like we'll still get that exemption. So this could be a time where maybe equities and crypto separate, because I feel like if the government shuts down, I feel like equities is going to suffer, but then if we get the crypto innovation exemption, I think that's going to be positive for crypto. So it could be a time where altcoins outperform, and we see those alternative cryptocurrencies do really well. Okay, especially if we get that Innovation Exemption Act. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the summary. Again, volatility over the weekend. You're seeing it in Bitcoin. We're probably going to see it in futures. I'm not sure if futures is open, but we'll see how the market opens up. It's going to be an interesting week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's play some chess. I'm at 1434, so I broke the 1400 mark for Blitz. I was getting close to 1500. I was like at 1459 last night. Then I ended up playing some more games because it's just addicting when you get close to that 1500 mark. You just want to get over. That's why when I reached 1500 for Rapid, I was like, all right, let me put this down for Rapid and let me focus on Blitz. So that way I can focus on both areas. I think it's really good to play Blitz and Rapid. I really don't like Bullet because it's like 1 minute. It's just chaotic in my opinion. So yeah, but I think it's good to play both. I think it's good to keep them at the same rating. That's kind of the main thing. You don't really want a Blitz rating of 900 or 1,000 because that's where mine was because I wasn't playing Blitz. And then a Rapid score of 1,500. You want to keep them both equal, essentially the same rating. Okay, that's just my opinion. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's play a few games of chess, and that'll be it for the day. It took long for that. Um, I did not like that. That's fine. Uh, it's fine. I had to do that. There's no other way, unfortunately. Darn it. Oh, that's checkmate. I mean, there's really nothing I can do. Yeah, nothing I can do there, unfortunately. That sucks. Hmm. I think we got that piece now. Hopefully he may sacrifice that piece. I think this is fine. Yeah, now he has to do that. Which I think I should be good. I see what he's trying to do there. He's trying to take that. Yeah. I wonder, do I survive this? Because he has that right there. All right, I'm going to have to get rid of this, unfortunately. I mean, if he comes in with that. That sucks, man. That totally sucks. I feel like I had him too, which is weird. Let me see where I went wrong here. All right, let's see. All right, let's do this. Good. It's probably a blunder at the end. All right, so it needs to do that. Come here. That actually did make sense. I don't know why I didn't see that. That was all. You get a chance to win by pinning. So this is this. Right. He can't even move it. I could have just taken that. Didn't I do that though? I gotta look at the other side of the board. I don't know if there was anything else I could do. I didn't even need to do that. All I had to do is this. Oh no, he checked me. I couldn't have did that. I had to move here. That was all I could do. So what was this? I wonder. Okay, so instead of taking that, I should have did this. That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking that, and then here, and then maybe he does this, and then here. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was thinking that too, but I was unsure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get a W here. Here, same thing, same game from last time. I don't know if I pin this or, you know what, let me keep it and then I'll just castle. I feel better castling. If I do this, take, I feel like I'm off now. Let's do this, see what he does. Okay. Let's take. All right, I think this works. Here. I think it works. I think we're even pretty much. Oh no, I get an extra piece actually. So I think we're good here. Yeah, that's what he's trying to get to. Let's do that. I think it's fine. All right. Let's do this. Let's do that. I think that's fine. What I can do here is just double. I think that's fine. Okay. I think this is fine. Yeah, I think what I can start doing is moving this rook up. Here, get that 7th rank. Oof. Now I can switch off. So he only has 1. He's gonna have to get rid of it. Let's do this. Let's bring it back. Go. Yep, now you gotta move that. Do this. Actually, I'm gonna have to move this up because he can take that. Yeah. Let's see what he's trying to do there. I don't think that was a good move at all. I think now I'm good. All right. That was it was an easy game. I just felt like I wasn't managing my time well. So, yeah. Those first two games I did not like what like that second one I feel like I could have won. I just needed to sacrifice that bishop because his king was out of the game. So, I think I needed to think that one through a little bit better, but learning experiences with Blitz is ongoing for me. 1426, not bad. Close to 1500. I think getting to 1500 is actually going to be really easy. I thought it was going to be something that took most of the year, but yeah, I think we're on pace to hit that this year and probably a lot further. As long as I don't go over the amount of games that I need to play, and then just learning and reviewing the games and being aware of what I'm doing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully the market. So again, so tomorrow, basically what we need to, what it's looking like it's setting up to be is that the market's going to have a lot of volatility this week, depending on the government shutdown, depending on what the Fed says on Wednesday's meeting, is going to be what dictates the the direction of the market. Right now, looks like Bitcoin is gapping down a little bit, so it could be a precursor of what we see on Monday for equities. But yeah, I think we just need to wait and see and pay attention to all the things I said. Fed rate cut meeting, potential government shutdown, anything with the Clarity Act, innovation exemptions. We are getting it is tax season, so people are going to get a lot of money back here coming in the next month or so. So that could be a liquidity injection in the market as well. On top of the fact that the Fed is buying back bonds, and it usually takes 3 months for that liquidity injection to hit the market, and we'll see that potentially in February and March. So we'll see. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.